The Galactic Council's emergency beacon screamed across the cosmos, a desperate plea for a champion. It reached Earth at precisely 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, arguably the worst possible time to ask humanity for its greatest warrior. Commander Zexter of the Andromedan Fleet was expecting a legend. He imagined a battle-hardened soldier, bristling with cybernetics and plasma rifles. What he got was Jessica. Materializing in the teleportation chamber was a 16-year-old girl in a coffee-stained hoodie, clutching a broken phone and wearing mismatched socks. The 8-foot-tall insectoid commander's mandibles clicked in sheer disbelief. "Are you kidding me? We asked for Earth's apex predator." Jessica looked up from her cracked screen, mascara smudged from a recent cry session. She glared at the alien with the fiery intensity of someone who was already having the worst day of their life. "Listen, bugface," she snapped. "I just got dumped via text. I completely bombed my chemistry exam, and my mom found my vape. So unless you're here to make things even worse, you need to back off." The other warriors in the chamber, a hulking Kryn berserker, a shadowy photon assassin, and a crystalline Velkari champion, exchanged baffled glances. This was Earth's defender? "There must be a mistake," hissed the Velkari. "This child cannot possibly hunt the Ravagers." "Yeah, well, neither can you guys, apparently," Jessica retorted, shoving her broken phone into her hoodie pocket. "Or you wouldn't have just beamed me out of my high school parking lot. So, what are these Ravager things anyway?" Zexter, still reeling, pulled up a holographic display. The image was terrifying. Monstrous creatures 20 feet tall, a nightmarish fusion of teeth, claws, and bio-armor that made battle tanks look like toys. They had already consumed 17 worlds in 3 months. "They're unkillable," the Kryn growled, his voice heavy with shame. "We've thrown everything we have at them. They adapt, they multiply, they're bugs," Jessica interrupted, stepping closer to the hologram, her bad day momentarily forgotten. "Big, ugly bugs. Kinda like the palmetto roaches we get in Florida." Her eyes narrowed with a sudden dangerous focus. "Where's your kitchen?" 20 minutes later, the Alien War Council watched in horrified fascination as Jessica raided the ship's chemical storage. She was mixing compounds with the unearned confidence of a teenager who'd spent way too many boring classes watching DIY YouTube videos. Industrial cleaning agents, volatile fuel additives, and something called nutritional paste that even the ship's AI had flagged as hazardous. "On Earth," she explained, shaking a container that was definitely not meant to be shaken, "we've been perfecting the art of killing bugs for millions of years. And you know what always works?" She held up her bubbling concoction. "Poison, suffocation, and pure spite. That mixture will explode," the photon assassin warned, taking a step back. Jessica just grinned, the first real smile since Tommy sent that breakup text. "Only if you're stupid about it. Now, show me where to find these Ravagers." The Ravager horde descended on the ship like a living asteroid field. Alarms blared as hundreds of them swarmed, their armor already shifting to counter the ship's energy weapons. Jessica stood in the airlock, clad in a hastily modified exosuit, holding what the crew had ominously dubbed the Teenager S Revenge, a weapon that looked suspiciously like a super soaker duct taped to a fire extinguisher. "This is completely insane," Zexter muttered. "Even for humans." "You have no idea," Jessica replied, checking her mixture one last time. "By the way, does this ship have good air filters? 'Cause this is about to smell really, really bad." Then she launched herself into space. What happened next became legend. Jessica didn't fight like a soldier. She fought like a furious teenager who had weaponized her AP chemistry knowledge and had absolutely nothing left to lose. The first Ravager that lunged at her got a face full of her chemical cocktail. Its adaptive armor, designed to counter plasma and kinetic force, had no defense against caustic poison mixed with industrial solvent and pure teenage rage. The creature's exoskeleton bubbled, cracked, and dissolved into goo. "That's for Tommy," Jessica screamed, firing at another ravager. "And that's for Mrs. Henderson failing me, even though I showed all my work." The aliens watched in stunned silence as this small human single-handedly turned their unstoppable galactic threat into a floating graveyard of melted bug parts. She wasn't trained, she wasn't a warrior, she was just too angry to know she was supposed to be afraid. When the last ravager floated lifelessly in space, Jessica returned to the ship. "So," she said, pulling off her helmet, "can someone give me a ride home? I have homework." The Galactic Council declared her a hero. They offered her riches, titles, and a spot in their most elite unit. She turned them all down. "Look," she told them via hologram from her bedroom, "I'm glad I could help, but I have SATs in 3 months, and my mom's grounded me because apparently saving the galaxy isn't a valid excuse for missing curfew." Commander Zexther, now with a newfound respect for human teenagers, asked one final question. "How did you do it? You faced the galaxy's greatest threat with no training and improvised weapons." Jessica looked up from her phone. "You asked for Earth's apex predator. You got one. You just didn't realize that humanity is out at its most dangerous when we rearmed and prepared. It's when we're having a really bad day, and someone gives us a reason to take it out on them." Across the galaxy, a new entry was added to all military threat assessments. Humans, catastrophically dangerous when angry, improvising, and having a bad day. Avoid provocation at all costs. Back on Earth, Jessica saw a new text from Tommy. "Can we talk?" She deleted it and opened her chemistry textbook. After all, she'd just gotten some very hands-on lab experience. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Never, ever underestimate a human teenager with access to chemicals and a reason to be mad. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.